Well, they put up a fight on their map choice, but in the end, Mori unable to take down Ambrosia, who took the series 13-8, starting off this series right. Looking back at the match too, I mean, Roy, from the get-go, Ambrosia had a pretty good stronghold on the game. And then once we got the side swap, like Mori, we got to see these highlights. We got to see a little bit more, but it was just a little too late in the match.
Yeah, it was almost like a Mori sandwich, honestly, because they started off pretty good as well, and then they sort of lost grip on the first half, and then again on this coming into the second half, we definitely saw some. I mean, honestly, we saw many moments of brilliance coming out from Mori. They're definitely showing that they're improving. I completely agree with Wyatt, but ultimately, Ambrosia was it just looked like the better team overall.
Yeah, like looking at this, I mean, once Ambrosia was able to get a little bit more of a stronghold on the map, able to start closing it out. So definitely when you're looking at this Ambrosia team, Ash, that in the past, we have seen some really close games. Definitely getting this map upset to kick things off is going to feel good for them.
No, that is for sure, especially to be able to bring things back in that second half when it seemed like Mori was starting to build up a little bit of that momentum. They picked up both pistol rounds on the side of Mori, and for Ambrosia, I think that, you know, confidence-wise, they want to be able to also take this out in a 2-0, considering they are kind of the favored ones in this matchup, right, overall. And I think that Mori, though, you do have to give them their flowers as far as how well they did play in a couple of those rounds, namely the bonus being one that I think that we were all really surprised with how that one turned out.
100%. And even looking back at Bowie getting the 3K from the pistol and just kind of going on from there. I mean, Roy, your boy, guys are getting that 4K the one round. Like they had some
this
vibes.
clip right here. Yeah. I love it. I love it. The spray. Look at his movement too. Very calm. Like by the way, he's 16 years old, guys. He is 16 years old, putting up pretty solid stats against a pretty veteran roster. I would definitely agree. I think the Mori improvement is happening, but again, it looked like on the flip side, Ambrosia was playing a pretty solid game plan, even though it was looking a little dicey at times. I definitely could see their wombo combos, their utility combinations, and a lot of their general game plans coming into fruition.
Which is definitely good news for Ambrosia and Ambrosia fans out there, because again, the fact that we're on week 3, we're getting to that point of no returns for teams that are continuing to take these losses. So to be able to start this series off, be able to get that 1-0 one step closer to making sure they can put an end to that loss streak is going to be so important. So good confidence, even just a good job there too. Even at first kills, but being able to kind of have that bounce back, being able to really be able to find that room. It's good a job. And Glyph here, Ash, like honestly, just really well done.
Yeah, Glyph had an incredible game here on Fracture. I think he provided really great support to the team as well. I think when you look towards the compositions that we're seeing on Fracture pretty often too, it's those like 1-2 punch like wombo combos with the Teho and the breach stun with those missiles and the fault line that comes out, or even using the paint shells that Satellite has to do a lot of that like zoning and a lot of that just general damage as well. So I think that was really well played on the side of Ambrosia.
Agreed. And to add on a little bit as well, I think Glyph brings a lot of things to this team that just will never, you'll never see statistically. There'll be no empirical evidence of it. But overall, I think the level of micro, the level of like control that he exerts with this team, the synergy he has with Satellite is a very big key. It's a massive key piece for this team.
And something that was really on display in that first map. So, and across the board, really being able to step up. And we had talked about Adder in this roster and someone you could rely on, really did be able to make that impact as well. So, Ambrosia, they're looking good, they're looking coordinated, and that's definitely something for them to be taking well into the series. Now, looking at the next map, which is their own map pick going into this Pearl. And this Pearl is when Ambrosia started to get a couple of more eyes on them, considering this is the one where they got CUBE Academy. They got 11 rounds on them, right? They weren't able to close it out there, but that was definitely when they showed a lot of life and it's like, okay, like there is this capability, there is this promise here.
Yeah, absolutely. Although after the last showing on Pearl, I'm questioning how good of a performance that really was.
We don't talk about that last one.
but the one thing that I am seeing here that is like a looming concern for me, though, is the fact that Hakiki Mori's opting to start on the defense side on Pearl. A half that is honestly kind of hard to play. I mean, statistically, you look at Pearl stats and you see, yeah, we're close to the 50-50 on defense. But like when you play this map, when you really watch it, it really does feel very attack-sided, just because of how awkward it is to play around the mids, how awkward the length of rotations are. Just like it's just a very hard half, and I feel like Ambrosia's attack is where they really shine, and it's a bit of a concern for me.
I definitely agree with all the points that you're making there, Roy, especially with just like how awkward it can be to defend on that map. But I also wonder that maybe for Hakiki Mori, it might be a question of them trying to play their own game in the sense of, you know, maybe they might feel a little bit more confident kind of being able to sit back and checking out the playstyle of Ambrosia on attack first. Just because when you are a young team that doesn't have that experience, they haven't played it in officially yet, that just might be where they feel a little bit more comfortable, even though it isn't the side that you would typically expect most teams to start off on.
But then I look back to like respect if they're going for the, yeah, we're going to do what we're most comfortable with. But when you're going up against an Ambrosia that this is the side that they feel comfortable on too, is evident by how close their one map on Pearl was. That I think is spelling a little bit of potential disaster on the horizon for Hakiki Mori, especially too if they do get down around deficit. We talked about this team that needs to have this confidence and everything else. We saw glimpses of that in that first match. You know it's there. But I'm then curious if all of a sudden they start losing that momentum, Roy, if we're going to start seeing that Hakiki Mori that was able to shoot back, that was putting these plays together, and we might lose that here.
Honestly, I think a breakdown in their fundamentals and their team play might be a blessing in disguise. I feel like once they just are unleashed with this like idea of how they want to play the game, that actually might give them more freedom and more confidence to make errors because again, I'm just maybe pulling at straws here, but there is a silver lining to what is happening here to Hakiki Mori if they do end up with this like no momentum deficit. But I think overall, just play your game. There's really no expectations of them. No one's expecting them to win the league. There's really, if anything, they're completely free from all of these shackles and pressure.
Which is a pressure that Ambrosia on the other side, especially with some of the veteran talent on this team, is definitely going to be feeling. So let's head into the agent select again. We're headed to Pearl. This is going to be Ambrosia's map pick and something that we've gotten to see from them recently. But in terms of actual competitive play, we haven't seen this look yet from Hakiki Mori. So going into it, all right, Ash, across the board, a Yoru showdown.
Not even just a Yoru, it's just a mirror comp.
A straight mirror, let's go, okay.
So that's going to be really interesting because you do maybe wonder if Hakiki Mori have maybe looked back on some of the VODs of other teams playing similar compositions and are looking to replicate some of that. But then at the same time, Ambrosia, Roy, being the ones to play this initially within VCL, that's also the worry of, okay, they have the experience playing it in the server on paper. They should know best.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these teams that are running the Fade and Tejo specifically are pulling a lot of their ideas from Sentinel. So there's probably even more layers of strategy available and kind of comp philosophy to how they want to play. So I think there's a lot of like things they can pull inspiration from and sort of have ideas of how they want to approach the map, what sort of style they want to play, and a level of familiarity with the game.
An honest to goodness mirror, always one of my favorite type of Valorants here. So let's get into it. Pearl for Ambrosia. This is series point. Let's see if Hakiki Mori, if this can be the comeback. Now, Wyatt, take it away.
Thank you, Sierra and the crew. I'm really looking forward to this map because we've kind of talked about this comp a lot, you and I, in the last couple of weeks, and how it really has like a ton of moving parts. There's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to line up here between like the info gathering of the Fade and trying to make sure your Tejo util is hitting, and of course your Vice really trying to lock, especially their B site down, how you control A main, yada yada. That's a lot. I'm curious to see how these two teams are when all those pieces have to be brought together.
Yeah, Roy said it. This is the Sentinels comp, the one that you and I just cast a couple times last week. So we're definitely familiar with it. I'm curious to see how familiar with their strategies these two teams are as far as trying to maybe one-to-one just directly integrate the Sentinels style of play here. It is a complex comp. It is tough to play, but when it's executed properly, it's more than potent. These agents are fantastic on this map together.
I mean, for the avoidance of doubt, we have also been critical of Sentinels playing this comp, saying there might be too many moving parts for them to be able to focus on the fundamental side of the game as well. So it takes a lot. Curious to see if we can, how close to its full potential we get to see this comp look. But messy times here over towards Link as 3 players off 3 different angles for Hikikomori simply just post up and receive this push through.
They play off of that pressure from Ambrosia with some serious class. They're able to just absorb some of that aggression, re-swing together. Garpa shuts down Adder. What a way to start this map off, a map that they haven't actually played in an official yet.
So far, so good. I mean, they're definitely ready for Ambrosia to try and thrust their way over towards the B side via Link.
Blocking vision.
Of course, we have the Smiley here, knows he's bound to get spammed at. And there it is. Bowie takes care of him now. Nice lockdown there by Hikikomori.
Absolutely. Bowie starting off strong already with a 2-piece in the first round after top fragging for the team over on map 1. Standout player highlighted by the desk. But not surprised to see Ambrosia just taking it back a little bit to the map overall to take us to Pearl. They have had success here recently. They were able to beat Trust and Plug, Winthrop University, only lost to Cubert Academy 13-11. So this has just been a good map for them. Good enough that they feel more than confident to pick into it with Mori's play here being an unknown until today.
Is that Teho util from the defenders to gain them some control of A main, but they haven't pushed up to the box yet. Behind this stealth drone, maybe. Demi's able to ping out 2 players with that ability. A lot of value. That's going to force Ambrosia off that part of the map elsewhere. Ghost was ready for Satellite to come calling once more, trying to sneak up mid. Back behind double doors go Ambrosia.
Trying to sneak out mid, but ultimately has to cross that sheer wall. Now Garpa stacked up to absorb the aggression. With the better rifle, better gun, able to collect 2.
There.
Did it well, in my opinion. Now, straight down Link, we go to the B site. That is the last remaining plan of attack in this round for Ambrosia. They're in Heaven, Astra Star, ready to smoke out Heaven on tower. And off we go. Remember, we're still dealing with Bulldog, Spectres, and an Outlaw in this round, so the weaponry is certainly impressive for Hikikomori. But no one wrapping here from long at the moment. They're all going to make their way onto the side here from tower. Here we go. Flash in. Bowie drops on down. Out of spots him out. Tries to get a couple of shots, but goes behind him as well. It's awkward. Bowie has a window to turn around. Some sharp shooting from Smiley. Saves a bit of face for Ambrosia, but that's the anti-eco going the way of Mori.
They play it pretty smooth. Just gathered up in spawn. No one rushing things. I like that position from Adder. That was a cool attempt to play forward in that smoke, find a kill there. But at the end of the day, situation there next to almost 0% chance of winning every single time they run that scenario, right? So all good. And Bro should be content with the damage though still, I suppose.
I think it's fine. You know, I don't know what that was clean. I think that Adder just like a little overcooked there. Yeah, this push out of double door from Ambrosia from the single play we've seen quite a few times. So bonus for Mori, not the most impressive.
I'll find you.
Horn, okay, Garpa allows that to ping them out. At least it feels that way. Now we're really fighting though for A main. Yeah, we're going for this. Oh, okay. Bowie just lingers. Was hoping maybe to get out there with the gate crash, but that was not a possibility. So A main control now gained. Teho util looking to pave the way into the A site for Ambrosia.
That stealth drone just a little bit too quick.
No charges.
And save for any mid-round or late-round heroics, Ambrosia should be able to clean the rest of this up with ease. After getting A main control, they remove one of the only 2 good weapons for Hikikomori. They have B contained. The only thing to slow them down here is running into the sheer. That's over placed towards long.
It's a long wall, yeah, and normally we see the diagonal on the side. This is actually a much wider sheer wall placed across the wall.
Which will allow a little bit more time for Mori to actually rotate over.
Okay,
Satellite just intends on getting in. Yeah, he does.
Okay, so we got one player approach on the site. Anyway, Glyph is in here. So 2 players from Ambrosia. And then we're going to play in that standard spot here, one that Hikikomori can't see. We've had a player push up as well. Okay, no, it was just a clone. Minimap betrays you. Satellite still sitting in the War's halls. We've got the potential to play out from long here, but Ghost is rather Kaiser, excuse me, only as a sheriff, and it's being watched for most of the time by Smiley. Here comes that defense side Teho Util. And yeah, Mori are going to walk into the wood chipper here. No two ways about it. Just the sheriff's left in play, and it's Kaiser. Took his sweet time trying to get a foothold here at Belong. And we are going to hunt that down. We're going to get that sheriff out of hand here. So it would be a bonus for Hakikimori that goes for a flawless for Ambrosia.
Super clean. Unfortunately, a common theme from the first map was that on the anti-ecos, Mori weren't able to stabilize their economy effectively. Fortunately for them, they were actually able to win one of those really bad bonus rounds. But yeah, the majority of the time, as we just saw, you're not going to if you drop too many guns on the previous. So those shots from Smiley 2 rounds ago, after the round was lost, really paid off. And now they're stabilizing their own economy. They don't drop a single weapon.
Running back now, weapons brought up, and Bowie's already gone for an operator. Half armor. So again, they had an outlaw from this position previously. They do like trying to hold for contact in A main with a scope weapon, apparently. Dimensional drifting now into the gate crash, which puts them at the B site. It's going to be Satellite, who's deep, seeing a lot of this. And obviously unsurprising probably to see Ghost in that position. Pinging that out now as the Razor Vines do spread over the site. Satellite got taken down. That was the Ori that went deep. I think they just took the challenge and the player in Link won it out. Screwface at least is going to have to plant here.
It looked like he wanted to ping that player out so they could go for a C's missiles, but the missiles never came. He goes down, and now it's Ambrosia to disadvantage.
Okay, I like that Teho Util. It really slows up this Link push. They're forced all the way back to give Smiley a foothold here, and they're not ready for the play from the backside. Glyph gets himself one, but Kaiser fights his way through this. Now it's on Adder. Wyatt's favorite Valorant player ever, I would say. And he's doing all right. In the 1-for-1, Kaiser, though, will clutch, find his third, and get the defuse.
Would have been top 2 if he got the clutch. Nice try, though.
Damn.
Top 3 is still, that's of all time. Top 3 is pretty good. You know, number 1, Tens, number 2, Shroud, number 3, Adder. That's my top 3 Valorant players of all time.
And to that, I say, go Valorant. Good job, Wyatt.
Ambrosia, they had a couple pretty large mistakes, to be honest, on that B execute. I don't know what was going on with that dimensional drift. You could see that Satellite was pinging out the Vice standing there. A C's came over the top, but there were no guiding salvos with it. But Screwface had his missiles, and then they think they kill everyone in Link, but Kaiser is still alive there, gets free kills. A comedy of errors from the Ambrosia side, and it's put their economy in a dire situation if they lose this round.
But we discussed this. These comps are hard to make work. I mean, there's so many moving parts like that. Like trying to put together the util combo in very short notice, excuse me, is, well, clearly hard. Sheer wall is up. Although it was just the clone that activated, so not much to see there right now for Ghost. It's about art. And that drone's going to come on in. And this might prowl on this one. Maybe they try and play off of it. Yes, flash behind it as well. Kaiser just overwhelmed by that util dump. Danny trying to slip away there. He'll at least be joined by Garpa.
Bowie was actually in A main, but decided to teleport to Art, where Mori are going to maybe attempt to re-clear. No, at this point they just have to pivot to spawn. Obviously, there's so much more noise being made in Link. We'll see if Ghost can maybe get one cheeky kill before falling off and playing for a retake. That doesn't even look like he wants to take his chances.
And you think he might have heard Satellite. Gate crashed into position there. Nicely done by Demi. Sixth sense about it, apparently. That's the fade out of the game. Satellite here hopes not to go so cheaply as last time. Hoping the clone gets some action there on long. It's not to be. Prowler comes in. Bowie wants to follow it up here. Satellite is past him like a ship in the night and sprays him down. That is ridiculous. They are low, though. But still, Screwface and Adder can cause problems. And we're seeing it now. Adder chooses this moment well as the salvo forces Demi off the site. Garpa. 1v3 with an operator? I think not. Not with this amount of money. Off we go to try and save this, and the net will close. Adder's already going to make his way down water. Screwface is lost for this, though, but this should be enough to get the operator out of hand, and it is.
And that would have been the hero weapon for assuming in the hands of Bowie this next round, but they are on tough tough eco, saving into the next where they're going to have a hell of a lot of ultimates to play with. I mean, if they manage to get some Sheriff kills on this round, which they could, I believe they won a Sheriff eco round on Fracture, or at least it came down to like a 1v1 clutch. If they could do something similar, they have the ults to actually convert a situation like that here. So not a safe anti-eco for Ambrosia by any means. One little mistake, one lost player could cascade into a situation where they're losing.
It's time for Hikikomori, given the weaponry. No reason to play aggressively towards A main. That'll still be checked, though, by Ambrosia. But this comeback has not been completed yet. Smoke there. The Astra, of course, just to try and waylay Ambrosia. Hikikomori are not ready for this. All right, here it comes. Nightfall only catches on the one play here. This should be quite telling. So Satellite gets into the site, flash through the nebula, and off we go. We're going for it. Counter Nightfall coming on in, though, and Bowie hits the site hard. That is dirty stuff with the Sheriff, mind you. Audacious. At least the space is going to be cleared now as Steel Garden comes in to affect the attackers. Spike recover, but where do you go from here?
Going to the dimensional drift, evidently going to get the spot on both players in main. That's one. Oh, yeah, it does check for the second. Bowie is showing out in this round right now.
Bowie's going to remain over towards Secret for now. Jeez, the momentum completely stunted for Ambrosia. Bowie's getting some irons on them, I think, with these last couple of games.
And with Ambrosia feeling the need to retreat, I mean, I think Garba could have gone to recover a weapon, may still do so, but they will get the upgrades. And to even just add the cherry on top, Kaiser could pop the Cosmic Divide in this retake to try and set up a safe defuse opportunity.
Okay, we get the plan. And over towards Halls. Looked like Ada was considering going, yes. Screwface steps ahead of
Well divided.
this Razor Vine. Swing! Beautifully done. Okay. And here it is. Steel Garden comes out. Darpa, despite not having access to the primary, still able to find a kill. Ada needs to make use of this now. They're going to be crept up on, though, and they've given themselves away. Cosmic Divide means you just swing this over and over again and hope to win it out with the gun, but it's not to be. Hikikomori keep themselves up by 2.
And it was the snowball ultimate after ultimate from Mori in that round that wins it out for them. Respect to just sending out the Nightfall before you've even found a pick or an advantage, though. They just rip that. During the site execute, Bowie scales in off the back of it and gets 3 kills, essentially alone on site, just being supported by the Nightfall that came through.
Yeah, exactly. Like the rest of his team, I think, is smoked off. He pushed the Nebula to take that fight. That is ridiculous. We love to see that. So we actually have a rifle brought into the round here for Satellite. Okay. Again, Dino Util will slow Ambrosia down, but Satellite gets ahead of it by gate crashing forwards. So they'll tuck in A main here.
Slowing things down. Adder wants to find the timing.
A good ping from Demi. That's interesting that they just backed up into art while revealed. Okay, well, not getting that one back, I'm afraid. Garpa, it'll be flashed away from this. Cosmic Divide, of course, laid down by Ambrosia. And Adder has a good sense for this, but the aim doesn't quite match up. Kaiser gets the drop on him. Now, at least, this post-plant for Ambrosia, they got the stick. Can fall back to A main should they so choose, but Screwface is playing awfully deep here in Flowers. Stinger,
Garba
that's why.
has to be concerned. Can't just really eagle the smoke.
But we eventually gets cut down by sheer weight of players. Overwhelming. Awkward! Awkward! A right click! Oh my goodness, Smiley with the acrobatics. Leaves Kaiser with it all to do. Smiley's able to pick up the operator. Healthy after that exchange, taking no damage. That one is going to go wayward. Still, Kaiser has no idea where to find Cliff and will eventually be shot in the back of the head.
Ambrosia just eco them right back to the dismay of Mori. Unfortunate.
Scrappy game.
Garba was under so much pressure there in Flowers. That was a really tough situation to play. And if, honestly, he had been able to find that kill on, who's that jumping around backside with the classic? Whichever player that was. Oh, Oh, yeah, and the Prowler going through the smoke, not actually spotting Screwface because he's tucked in the corner. A couple little unfortunate situations add up. It's resulted in their economy being broken.
So, like, once again, plays forward. Gotta be happy after that last round for Ambrosia. Oh, and the flash, is it enough? Not remotely, but, yeah, that Teho util is gonna hit hard. Demi's forced to play that line, and while stunned is still
Down A.
Stun's a cosmetic, like you say, Wyatt.
It really is. That's crazy that he was able to find that kill. That was a good sync of utility, though, from Ambrosia getting the C's into the missiles, cleaning up those timings, and it results in a win for the A main fight.
Ghost and Kaiser hear all of this. What do you do about it? I mean, the shield wall, yeah, they've just realized that no matter what they do, they're going to be revealed. They're going to have to take a fight here. But they're walking together at least. Ambrosia being slowed up. Ada now, of course, will be watching the flank, and they've ascertained that there's no one on the side itself. So, unfortunately, what would have been a fun backstab opportunity is going to be snuffed out by that Sentinel util, leaving Kaiser again, who has to clutch another round. Seen it already this game. Stack up, though, is too much. Ambrosia have the numbers and the guns, and not even the game.
Good effort, but yeah, Ambrosia just make it clean with a double setup. For the first time, actually staving off an anti-eco, so finally maybe able to put their economy in a bit of a more decent spot as they're growing close to even more ultimates than the two that they've already got as well. An opportunity to try and get in the lead, extend the lead.
You can see the risk, like,
Planted.
as defenders trying to push up in the A main against this Teho comp. It's, I don't know, like, you are probably going to, if you win that fight, you probably die after it unless you have, like, your Yori who can get crashed out. But if you're committed to that and you get caught in a grab well, then, like, Teho, you could die.
Yeah, and that is just why it seemed like G2 love having that chamber and the Yoru. Regardless of satellite and deep with the judge. All right, cool. Fun agent. Fun gameplay.
Okay. And it's able to deal with Kaiser there pretty comfortably. Satellite takes up the position just vacated by the Armageddon very quickly. So this buy round here for Hikikomori, unfortunately, does not have much longevity. This represents an opportunity for Ambrosia to finally stabilize this economy.
Unfortunately, yeah, Bowie just never got the opportunity to do something of significance with the op, so obviously wants to carry that over to try and find an opening in round 10 to keep his team in this. You know, this still is the closest we've seen Hikikomori to getting a map win. Early days, but they're keeping it close. Oh, this is going to be tough for Bowie. Surely he doesn't get out of this.
Stuck in that corner, essentially, but yeah, nobody close enough for Ambrosia yet to punish it. I think, okay. Oh my goodness. Well, should have known, honestly. Based on what we've seen so far this game, should have bloody known. Bowie gets out with the operator. Round for Ambrosia. Lost 2 guns in that one as well, just so we was talking about them stabilizing this economy properly. There's a couple more guns than they would have liked to have given up otherwise. Bam.
Classic vintage Yoru activity right there.
Enemy remaining.
How do we make this work? Glyph is molding after that.
Certainly lost at least a dozen follicles of hair after that moment. Perhaps a dozen and a half. Bowie's pushed
Half
up
a
with this
follicle
off,
of
man.
hair.
Huh?
Half a follicle of hair.
No, a dozen and a half.
Oh, I see it. One and
No,
a
not
half.
half, not a dozen and 1/2 follicle. Not 12.5 follicles.
Good to know.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Yeah, Bowie's dishing it out now. Cutting through. Okay. Little unnatural, little otherworldly. You got to respect it, though. You do need to have protocols to play in the operator. I mean, Ambrosia should know better because Bowie is buying that whenever they possibly can on this map.
Glyph, after all that chaos, just wants to find a moment to get a forward position that the rest of his team could play off of, chooses Art to be that location. Doesn't have to worry about a trip, can silently walk through here. Spotted out by Demi, has to break the Razor Vine.
All right, Ghost hold. Oh, okay, a little early. Honestly, there's a kill that is to be had there. Ghost, though, just pulls a shot a little early. Happens to the best of us.
30 seconds left.
And Glyph is This is a control spot to be, but I love that little rotation out. Bui cleans him up.
Spike planted.
Steel guard and
My
active.
ult's ready.
That's for the
Concealment.
defenders, but Hakikimori are in no hurry. The spike just got planted.
Right
And you
there.
can't really flash yourself out of this. Is there an Arc Rose in play? Okay, not too shabby. Anna pushed it. He pushed it, damn it! Oh my goodness, Smiley realizes and gets the memo. He's going to go forward too. Now it's just 2 sheriffs left. Mori don't have the weapons to work with. Just Jiggle peek in that corner. Garper and Ghost both go low, and talk about salvaging a round white. They could have gone either way.
That's a 2 versus 5 win. So you have to give massive credit to Ambrosia for playing that together in the smoke, finding all the kills. On the opposite side, though, for Hikikimori, they are going to regret deeply that they did not just instantly rip the dimensional drift to guarantee that 5v2 round win. On a round where they could have saved all the guns, turned the economy on its head, they thought just having the numbers was going to be enough. But 4 of them still just had sheriffs. It wasn't. They needed to use the ult there. I know they're regretting that seriously right now. You just have to do everything you can to win that round from that situation. Like, you cannot give Ambrosia an inch back into that. It was too crucial of a moment.
At least it wasn't worth 2 rounds, is the upside. Both will wait on this push. Okay, it's going to be cleared by the drone. He gets all the way down Link, even sees Kaiser for a moment. Okay, so we're seeing so much of the map just being given up now because Ambrosia are moving in numbers. Straight down through Link. And open B side, essentially, as well.
Open B site, Nightfall. Going to confirm that fact that we know from the minimap, and the Cosmic Divide will surely stop any attempt from Mori to flood back into the site, though we know that wouldn't have really happened anyway. They're not in position to do it yet. It's going to be a full set retake. They have a Cosmic Divide of their own to cut off that angle at B long. Should be using the dimensional drift to get all the info close towards Halls, Link, etc. They could even Nightfall long after the fact as well. Mori have a great chance of winning this.
I do like the dimensional drift for Bui, though. They're not going to waste their salvo on Halls at all. Instead, they're going to use it out on the site, which makes Adder a little bit uncomfortable. Bui does spot the player over towards Link, but Screwface wants to get in the game very quickly. Looks like a special delivery did catch on as a counter Nightfall comes from the defenders. Smiley on the other side of that wall. Going to pop that util to slow the defuse down, and there's no chance for it. Nicely done. Hikikimori get the defuse.
Last round before the
Yeah, easy to just stick the spike with the safety of the Cosmic Divide. Plus, I mean, you're in the Nightfall. You can't hear a damn thing anyway, but also there's the Cosmic Divide, so you really can't hear what's going on the opposite side of that wall. So they don't even know that the spike got tapped.
Yeah, Smiley had some Astra's util on the spike, but I think they use it. It's just too late. By the time the grab wall actually would have pulled you off, it was already halved.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You just don't even know the timing. You don't know when they tapped. You just have to try and go off your own intuition.
It feels better to fight through the wall, but that's just me, I guess. Ambrosia at least have another buy round. These two teams are just breaking each other's economy. We've never, not at all on this half, actually see either team build a bank.
No, not. I mean, yeah, you're right. Not even in the slightest. This has been the most back and forth game for Hikikimori so far in all of this Challenger stage. Bui, lovely first kill.
God, they're good. They are very good. Fighting doggedly here for this A main again. This time without the Teho here. Late round util is going to be a factor. Bui wants to fight everybody. And you know what?
Oh my God.
I'm here for it. Honestly, fight them all.
I mean, was that just a 3-piece of kills? Every single player in A main he took down?
Yes.
Not bad from the Challengers rookie.
And by the way, in between them, there's a ton of utility to shake him out of that position. Screwface dies early. I think that's what really hurts them. Satellite flashed that position. Absolutely dominated. All right.
30 seconds left.
Here's the ping. Going to see a clone as well. Glyph is on the move there, unfortunately for them. And a very good Hikikimori round. That is impressive stuff. Bui exits with 4 kills, but overall they look very solid here on Pearl, a map that we've not seen from them at all.
Yeah, I have to imagine they'll be trying to get this in the mix in their series a little bit more from here on out. Kaiser even on top of that gets the kill, and then round not even done yet, starts spraying the body. That's the get the confidence up move. That's the get the boys in the call feeling good type move because you're acting a goddamn fool on the site, Mitch. That's what that play is. And I'm not mad at it. I'm really not.
It was really nice. Now, of course, I think, you know, you've got to be a little bit scared on this next half of exactly what Bowie can do to you on this attack side. How deep they can get over towards that B side, fighting halls. Very solid first half, and yet 4 of those rounds strung together by Hikikomori. Let's jump into round 13, folks. Sees Ambrosia on defense now. They themselves will look to take that early control, and yeah, they want an AWP for Screwface, apparently. Geez, that is deep.
That is tough for Garpa. Off the back of seeing all that, though, Mori say, let's go into B ASAP. They're cut off by the wall. Bowie gets deep into the site, is alone, but will claim the space at the very least.
Fortunately, though, Ambrosia doesn't lose anyone on this exchange of space. Still able to play with 5. Left just a moment later, and that might have interrupted this plant.
Spike planted.
So they're not quite sure yet where the spike is, Ambrosia. Now we're in the post plant. Mori down to 4 players. Have good, long control here, and they're ready to step forward. Satellite tries to forge their way out onto the site. Shut down instantly. Glyph gonna have a crack at it here, but it's just such a crossfire setup now for these attack side players. It's gonna take heroics from Ambrosia to get through. As we've seen this week gone, and heroics won't get you all the way.
Mori set up a great post plant there. The crossfires were really good. And again, it's Bowie, though, who is at the front line, not only drawing the attention, but still being able to find more kills. Entered the round with 16, leaves with 18. Is facing in the front all the way deep halls. He is on fire right now. Determined to get Hikikomori their first map win.
So far, not so bad. After that deep push on the A side here by Ambrosia. Just dominating that whole position.
One enemy remaining.
And that's the trouble here when you know, are in a post plant on that B side. You can only come from Link and from Tower, respectively. It's really hard to get in. Garpa's learned his lesson.
Yeah, that was
Very
all
much
after, by the
respecting
way,
the push-up.
Garpa just gets owned 2 seconds into the round, but the Ambrosia death ball running at him, and they still recovered that.
I guess Ambrosia are playing, especially for like the lurk player over towards this A side and wanting Screwface to
Dropping
control that
spike.
orb. And maybe win a duel. It's going to be a really difficult process in a round like this. Hero rifle brought up for Bowie. He is flush with the cash. Here they come. A-man control now for Hikikomori. This has been bought enough time there for Ambrosia to set up, so we are going to have the audible call to get every defender player on this side of the map, and there it is. There is the pull out. Nicely done. And how long will it take Ambrosia to figure this out?
At least another 10 seconds, I
30
think.
seconds left.
Give it maybe 6 more, and then they're going to realize,
They've got to know now.
yeah, let's get to the B site.
Okay. Well, unlucky for Ambrosia. They finally realized, yes, with 15 seconds left in the round,
There we
the
go.
spike's not headed for him. You were right. It was about 10 seconds, Wyatt.
10 seconds left.
Spike
A
being
crucial
planted
thing.
down for default.
planted.
Missiles not going to get there in time due to Screwface just too far away. Oh
Okay.
my god. All right, goes back up. Throw that Guardian to someone else that had a pistol. Yep. Gives it to Demi.
Satellite here with a big hit. However, you now have all of this post-plant utility you have to fight through. Teho's stunned. Ghost is low, so they're obviously going to give them their namesake weapon and let them just try and do whatever they can here to interrupt the defuse. Ambrosia is looking for exits here. I don't think there's a genuine interest in defusing this spike whatsoever.
Not at all. They may be able to find him because Carpet, well, he's close up, but he gets another kill.
Silence.
Some of these weapons getting dropped away. And piercing to the spike is on the menu. That works out for Ambrosia. And
Demi?
it's only the one. I think this is fine. I mean, the most expensive weapons they brought into the round, they did say.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but this buy would be in a much better place if Demi had that 3rd rifle. It's putting them in a position now where they don't want to risk as much on the bonus round. They are going to have seemingly 2 pistols again.
Yep.
A Stinger, an Ares, a Stinger, a Bulldog. they're trying to figure this out, and I'm trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, I'm ready for the pop and Ares again. Run that back.
Yeah, they just end up with a Stinger. Unfortunately, I mentioned this after the first pistol. Mori, they're getting these pistol round wins, but their anti-ecos have not been clean enough for them to ever really build an advantage. It was all that back and forth bad economy talk we had in the first half where neither team was able to really get ahead. Mori are the team rather, that have had more of an opportunity to do that, but haven't been able to capitalize.
They won 4 rounds back to back, I think, on that defense side, and they still didn't really have a solid economy after that. So, were really close rounds. It's been an unbelievably scrappy game. Again, you are watching two teams with with intricate compositions, with a lot of bells and whistles on them. Smiley, I think, seen all they need to. Now the Prowler gets to push down towards Connector, and there's a real threat of some actually coming from water side. So Glyph has moved in to reinforce that position. And then we'll drift back over to A. I'm not convinced that it's not like an arc-sided push. I think if there are eyes on arc here, Ambrosia would be able to send an extra player over towards this B side, but the way it goes, Louis clapped though, and it's nice timing there for Adder to emerge from this back little corner here. It screens. Loses the fight out against Kaiser. But as the smoke clears, it's an Ambrosia 3v1.
Satellite cleans things up. Unfortunately, Kaiser just didn't really have an opportunity to do much as that solo player from Long due to a Razor Vine being thrown on the ground in front of him. He couldn't get on an angle to actually fight anybody. So the crossfire just set up uninterrupted, looking at the tiny little link door. You're just cooked with 4 of your players trying to get through there. Bit unfortunate for Hikikomori. Again, though, not the best buy for them anyhow.
Yeah, that was the bonus.
The real one is up next.
Ambrosia will keep 3 rifles out of the round, so they are well bought. Once again, fight for A main. Hikikomori really, they're treating it like a low A side on the attack. Many of these rounds just leaving Garpa back.
I have the spike.
Spotting them out, confirming again that it was the Yoru who snuck into main.
Now, do they want to do something active with Bui before that gate crash expires? It's only going to send him back into spawn. Not really set up for some kind of big wrap play where he gets to the team elsewhere and then they're hitting a different site. It's just back to safety, and it is gone now. As the team are feigning some presence in
Bring
link.
them down.
And you can see on the minimap how that's drawn Glyph to being forced to pick up sewers all the way at the top of the map. I like how Ambrosia are actually working the map control here. They're getting A main right now. This is nice.
Yep. It's another round where they have given up art in order to do this, but Glyph has not put themselves in a position where they get punished by a push into a water side straight away. And also there's like a gate crash there for Satellite to double back to should they need to.
30 seconds left.
Well, pushed a little bit too far. Patience really paying off there for Ghost, who just never leaves that spot the whole round. Screwface has to get this kill. Okay, all is right in the world. Now has a nice little pincer spot, but time's of the essence here, and Screwface had no backup. Glyph couldn't see because of that smoke. I like the spot though. It's one. Drop down, get the defuser, the planter, excuse me, yes.
10 seconds left.
Smiley, oh, don't realize that someone crossed into dugout. I think they maybe thought it was a clone. Adder?
Yeah, it's trying to go up silently. Knows one is still hanging around the site.
Has to have shown the barrel there.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, now we're in a bona fide 1 versus 1. Both players low, and Adder wins out a crucial round. That was Hikikomori's gun round. Now, Ambrosia have managed to even this game up. Yeah, it's been expensive and costly for them, but they can keep some pressure on with some rifles in the next.
I know Kaiser is at home hitting us with the Kaplan and Kubert Sentinels match cosplay. Just the frustration is there at the swinging and missing on Adder before there was any real necessity to do so yet in that moment. Just felt like this is when he's going to wrap, this is when I can get the kill, and just comes up short. At least with the spike down, they get a decent economy going in terms of buying here. But they're risking it all now on this round. It's on account of having all of the ultimates.
This is taking everything that Ambrosia have to stay in this game, though. Let's be fair on that point. Clone cleared. Who wants to flash himself into this? There's the sheer wall getting drawn out. much more of an A focus here this round is look at, again, space being taken this side, this time on the B side of the map.
There.
Big push up here for Satellite.
Portal closed.
Yeah, sends the gate crash back just now, that Satellite, and meanwhile, Bowie with the gate crash forward. He wants to get in a little bit further off this arc control. Mori want to set up for the A split, execute, maybe Dimensional Drift to get in.
There.
Use that Steel Garden as well.
If opposite back off at that timing. Like the Haunt was going into the art direction. Here comes that Armageddon, rather.
Spike
And Ambrosia,
down A.
comfortable enough to receive this. The weapons just aren't great, frankly, for her. But Kikimori, that was the Stinger player down. Kaiser with nothing but a Sheriff. Spike loose, and they are 10 HP in main. And I think somehow Ambrosia know they're there.
It's a tough situation to win out.
Yes. I mean, Aragorn's gone and gotten the army of the dead to join him here at A site and run over the Soul Defender.
I thought there was a chance that Hikikimori, given how they like to play around their ults prior, getting that close up to the site, might have just ripped the Steel Garden on the anchors and tried to win out the round straight up. We saw them do that on the first half, where even on an eco, they just sent the ults in a situation that felt right. But they're going to save them for the actual buy round. The safer, more sensible play. So can't be too upset with that. Oh, and speaking of safe and sensible, Bowie is going to be jumping out of a Dimensional Drift with a Judge.
I think that's extremely, I mean, based on the percentages of Yori's winning those situations, safer than you would think, folks. Sometimes you want to keep your friends closer and your enemies even closer.
Do you have the percentage on that?
Yeah, let me just
Because
get it out here. Yeah,
being
it's
honest.
about 70%, honestly.
There's no way it's 70%.
Oh, sorry, you didn't hear the paper? It's on here.
I mean, I heard the paper, but I was seeing a whole lot of Yoru with a Bucky jump. Well, let's see if it goes up to 71%.
All right, Nightfall played off of. Bowie just wants this position. They have really just shut the defenders in here, and Bowie's in a very advantageous spot. Doesn't have to go over aggressive to get a really nice position here. And it can be sort of helped out here by Hikikimori. Steel Garden comes out. Ada's going to walk up with a pistol. Oh, buddy, this could be ugly. Jump around the corner. Screwface, though, was outside of the garden, and he punishes. 2 kills, the spray down, and goes 69% is a nicer number anyway.
I'm not sure if that actually counted toward the statistic, because he did play that a bit safe, a bit more safe, you know? Like, I was expecting the jump out of the Dimensional Drift, flash pops, you're out right in someone's face. That was a more reasonable approach. I think we just scratched that from the statistics entirely. Not an example.
I feel pretty bad if I'm Mori in that round there, because they had extreme control of that B side, so much so they had a player embedded here in Ling. So they want to play off the Steel Garden, I guess? No, they push Bowie in fairness. This one here is a bit more, how's your father? Yeah. And then they send another player in to try and support that. So
the Judge with the Steel Garden was nice, and then unfortunately it just falls apart when Screwface gets the dual win against the player trying to trade onto him. And in the meanwhile, Satellite popped his own Dimensional Drift, was behind them at B long, pinging out player infos. A great retake.
Screwface one of the old orb here, but they got pinged out by the Haunt, and then because they were alone, they were lit. Had to destroy themselves and had to fall back. So just sheer weight of numbers giving Hikikimori control of this A main. And with an old orb in hand, an Annihilation is ready to roll. An Armageddon, excuse me.
If Mori try to accelerate into the A site, it'll be obnoxious for anyone but their Yoru to get past these multiple stars into the Razor Vine unless they can break this Razor Vine straight away.
And Bowie gets ahead, just inside that smoke. Looking to pressure further into Flowers, but they're giving the position away. And Screwface might be in a spot to catch the bit of the Annihilate. Armageddon Rudder's coming in. And Screwface knows his goose is absolutely cooked. In it comes. Satellite ready, though, to pick up that position he gave up. No plant yet. Prowler here. Pretty good timing. Oh, geez, we just swing those. Satellite, beautifully done. A perfect timing for a play like that. Kaiser with a big iron. 4 foes to break through.
He may have just gotten jump spotted, actually. Yeah, I believe he did.
10 seconds left.
Temporary expectation for a round like this. Ambrosia again, a competitive mid-game. They start to break away towards the end. We saw a similar story on Fracture.
Yeah, we sadly did for Mori, who are getting closer and closer to their elusive first map win in Challengers this year, being one of the teams that qualified up from Premier, which is a cool aspect of this system. It's a cool story for them. They're getting so close. That Nightfall from Glyph was really excellent, though. It tagged up 3 players, and then due to their audio getting scrambled from it, you had Satellite just push up into a similar position that we just saw Glyph in right there on this prior round. Yeah, this is a couple rounds ago.
Clutch. I feel like since that round, we have seen Ambrosia take the game back over again. That was, of course, the sad round for Kaiser. This was the questionable judge push around the corner from Bowie.
Yeah, against them in this moment with the Steel Garden, it was good, though. It's if Garpa kills Screwface there, they win the round. It really comes down to that duel, unfortunately.
This is the prior round. Satellite pushing up with that Nightfall having come through. Pretty good.
Hakiki and Mori have shown some nice stuff on this map. Even with that Armageddon onto Screwface, he dies because he gets hit by a C's lineup. You know, they definitely have some layering of utility on this attack side that has been paying off. It's just when it's come down to the crucial last couple duels in some of these late rounds, they haven't been on the victorious side. Outside of Bowie, who's really stepped up individually, the other guys, they need to start approaching that level 2 if they want to convert this map.
Oh, mate. That is raw. Just out of... apropos of nothing, really. Just
Me
a
when I'm
into Plaza.
Me when I'm Gordon Ramsay in Kitchen Nightmares.
It's raw sauce, no ketchup, fam.
So you're trying to relate to the kids?
I don't know if Big Shaq.
How do you do,
Zoomer
fellow
thing.
kids?
Big Shaq is definitely not Zoomer.
No, that isn't actually.
That's like 2018.
Yeah, it's pretty boomer of you, actually.
that was a pretty quick heel
boomer,
turn there, Mr. Arbiter of pop culture references.
My bad, man. My bad, bro.
Thorns are alive.
All right. Even try to throw a London twang on that as well. It's a waste of the young. All right. Bowie and Garpa here, of course. So this is a buy round for Hakiki Mori as we're clowning around. These guys really trying to dig deep to win it out.
Spike down mid.
But just this arbitrary, what feels like arbitrary timings and pressure awards.
30
the plaza
seconds
part
left.
of the map is just completely undone. Hakiki Mori, a very unique round from Ambrosia compared to what we've seen from them on this defense side.
Closed.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to touch on. Just when the game is getting late and they need to close things out, when the pressure is on this rookie team, they decide to just go for the aggro triple swing out of art.
10 seconds left.
Get something new in the mix to catch them off guard, and works as intended.
Bowie's going to stand out this game. Actually, pretty sick play, I'm not going to lie. Even there,
It really
nice
has
moves.
been. I mean, we didn't, like, you know, the last time we actually, well, we cast their first game, which was the Baptism in Fire against M80. Wasn't really an opportunity for Bowie to, for anyone on this team to have a standout moment. That was a tough first go at it in Challengers. But the improvements have been noticeable. You know, this team, they're looking more comfortable, they're getting better. They're having some rounds with great util. You have the Bowie star power there.
And so we have, so Hakiki Mori here, a lot of you would take this to 0-3, of course, not great. They take on Shopify Gold or Core, depending on which team ends up losing that game. So after that, there's no sort of, there would be no teams lower than that. We have a singular 0-4 roster. Swiss does have that effect sometimes of causing, you know, there is one team that will not be able to win many games, but that's how it works out. A 1-for-1 trade here at the round. We have a bit of a force in, of course. There's Mori have no choice. Deep on the site, Clone ignored, and the rest of Ambrosia are just happy to sit back on this because Mori have been corralled into A main, and Adder's given them every reason now to start thinking about pulling out.
Satellite's Dimensional Drip gets all of that information, has them encircled, gets excellent rotates from the rest of the Ambrosia players. They're propped up in the right positions. Oh, that's so unlucky. They might wander into Adder.
40 seconds left, so still time. A really pregnant pause from the attackers.
Yeah, but there's still time, but Ambrosia have all of the info. They know that they are hitting A.
30 seconds left.
Cosmic Divine for a retake too. Line is good. Satellite not able to make use of it because we post. I think in the chaos that will ensue, especially with the smoke thrown up, here's where the score mechanics get absolutely
One
bloody
enemy
aggressive.
remaining.
There's the Razor Vine in the way, but Hikiki Mori have no choice but to go for it. And so it ends, folks. Ada gets the job done. Another 13-8 map as Hikiki Mori give us some genuinely competitive Valorant, I think, for like the first half, if not more, of this map. And a great pistol round win that makes it an interesting game. After that, though, it's all Ambrosia.
And it does feel crazy to say that this is Ambrosia's first win, a team of known players that have been in Challengers, a pretty talented squad. So it's nice to see them get their first on the board. And at the same time, yeah, nice to see the aforementioned improvements from Hikiki Mori, one of the teams that came up through the Premier system, trying to make a name for themselves. This is the first game where I think you're really starting to see some of that foundation build out. They had some rounds with some nice synced up utility. They have a player that can look like a star for them. That's the building blocks of something for the future.
I mean, you'll see it. It's a massive carry performance there from Billy. I think he ends the game with like 24 kills, if not more, in a losing effort is excellent. And over those couple of maps, he was very, very good. So there's a lot to hang your hat on here, I think, as a Hikiki Mori, and also know you've got a star player in the ranks that you can, truly help develop into someone great in the Valorant world. So 2-0 here. Hikiki Mori fall to 0-3, and like you said, Wyatt, first win for Ambrosia. We're going to go to the desk, break down the day that was. So don't go too far, folks. Quick break, and we'll be back to wrap things up.
Well, it's insanely different. The competition like rose triple. I feel like that we've only been together for like a month, and that's like as soon as Premier's like playoffs started, we won it, and we were just in challenges, so we only had a month to prepare. Like the level of difficulty is a lot different. Like it's so much harder to get kills, and like the whole entire objective of the game changes. But our first week against M80, it was a lot harder, I would say, because it was nerves and everything. But our second week against Blue Water, I would say that it was a lot closer. And that short amount of span, I think we got a lot better. So this week against Ambrosia, we're hoping to turn that around. Key factors. So the key factors to the team's success is just not making any mistakes, but also just working together as a team and keeping our communications really good, because I feel like that's one of our most lackluster like features as a team. But besides that, we just need to make less mistakes, and I think start winning these games. Well, you can expect from me. My name is Abu2 for some reason, but it was changed to Demi recently. You can expect from me that I'm gonna keep playing. Last week I had a really good game against Blue Water. I'm planning to keep riding momentum. I've had a change in my role a little bit. And then for the team, just don't count us out yet. We're getting a lot better every week. And against Ambrosia, we're hoping to win out because we got that much better in that short amount of time.
Nice.
One enemy remaining. Down B. Last. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
All right. Well, they definitely had a little bit of a run for their money, but in the end, Ambrosia 2-0 over Hikiki Mori to be ending off today. Roy, they got to take out to Pearl, and even if there was some good things coming out from Hikiki Mori, it wasn't enough. Once Ambrosia got rolling at the end, they were able to close it out from there.
Yeah, I mean, call me crazy, but I swear there was a point in time where Mori just looked better than Ambrosia, and then the sides flip, and all of a sudden things are clicking, and then they started pulling ahead. Of course, Mori, they had ample opportunities to make this even more competitive than it looked, more competitive than their previous matches for sure. But ultimately, you have to close out some of these scenarios in late rounds to really have a chance.
And I think that it was kind of surprising too that it was the second half where we saw Ambrosia start like taking that momentum when it was previously their defense that they had struggled with before. But you also learn a lot from those losses as well, right? Things that you need to really fix up and everything. And I think Adder did a really great job subbing in for Ambrosia once again with the control that he was able to find. We saw a lot of times where he was able to contain Mori and give that information for that mid-rounding over on Ambrosia to make those adjustments, those rotations and reads.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to keep in mind as well that Adder, Coburg, these are just substitute players. They're not even really playing with their 5, right? So their practice must be a little scuffed as well. So, I mean, all things considered, I think Ambrosia is looking pretty good. I'm honestly, when I watch them play, I'm a little surprised that this is their first victory because they seem like such a well put together roster. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. I'm hoping to see a return to form and really see them peak out towards the end of the split.
Yeah, we're getting to the point of no return, but being able to get this win today for Ambrosia definitely means there's a little bit more wiggle room and an extra week to make sure that, hey, any of these issues that we think are kind of plaguing us, plaguing the team, they can fix that up. They can still end off the split strong, and that's definitely something to be looking forward to from them. Because I definitely think that, yeah, they have the people here, and starting off on that high note with the closer matchup against CUBE, there is that capability there. They got to close out today, and for Mori, even if they weren't able to quite close out, they're still being able to show that they are leveling, and that is something that Ash, looking at this and looking at the series, was definitely something that we needed to see from them.
Oh, for sure. Again, those incremental improvements. I think Wyatt and Uber were also talking about during the cast as well, about how we've seen, okay, now they're slowly taking that learning curve and building themselves up a bit more as a team, because again, we talk about the fact that it's a total rookie roster here on the side of Mori, and you know, they're making it competitive up against veteran teams like Ambrosia, which says a lot about their growth early on into, you know, challengers for the 2025 season. So you do have to give them flowers in their regard, because normally you see rookies paired with some more like experienced players on the rosters, right? For them, they don't really have someone where they can yield, like kind of glean that experience from to kind of guide them along the way.
It's nice here too, you're talking about the fact it's all the rookies, and we're still able to see like some moments of brilliance then coming out, especially too, not just MVP for Bowie, but some of these plays coming out and the kills that he is able to get. If that's what we're seeing from the rookie squad that doesn't have, I mean, the help of these more veteran players and stuff, Roy, that definitely means some really good things on the side of that roster, even if maybe not coming to fruition quite yet for everyone. The future's still bright, so I definitely don't want them to leave this match feeling like too upset about themselves or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think no matter what happens for Mori, they've shown themselves, they put themselves on the map, and you know, whether their fate is they get relegated or their fate they survive in the relegation tournament, or maybe they turn things around and go the whole distance. Either way, they put themselves out there, and when there's opportunities to, you know, for teams looking for players and they're looking to bring up the next wave of talent, they're going to be looking towards these players as the potential picks.
100%. Well, on the other end for Ambrosia, they end off in 2. They're able to end off looking strong. And now we have none other than Screwface on the line to talk a little bit more about the team and everything else. So let's head on over to that. Hello, big smiles over there. Get the win, ended off in 2. How you feeling?
God, wait, I'm not allowed to swear on this broadcast, right? I'm just making sure. Thank freaking God. Thank freaking God we closed out a couple rounds on CT side. I don't know. Very excited to get our first win. No diss to Mori. I think it's pretty obvious. They're unfortunately one of the weaker teams in the split. But hey, win's a win, baby. We're 1-2. It does not matter. It does not matter. I will take it. I'm so happy.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Especially too, I mean, for the squad, we got a squad of good players on your team. And like, you go up against M80 first. Like, that's just kind of a tough draw for the team.
No, we should have had him. We should have had him. It was Set Academy. Not
CUBE. Another team. Yeah, my bad.
Hey, not one guaranteed. We should have had him. We like messed up a couple of real crucial rounds on CT side. Hey, the fracture map, that could have been anybody's game. But map 1, I mean, 11-3, we throw that, like, we got to hang it up. You know what I mean? Throwing 11-3 with, like, ult advantage, and we can't close out 2 rounds with, like, Exodia ult. It's messed up. But that's okay. That's what matches are for, right? It's a Swiss stage, and, you know, we got a lot of new talent on the team. So I think, like, working through a little bit of that match confidence, building up that chemistry, you know, it's important, you know?
No, it is super important. And it was something too, you had tweeted out after the loss of Winthrop University last week, talking about this consistent performance that is kind of just eluding you guys just a little bit here. So I want to know how you're feeling after today's win and kind of how you think the team is meshing, looking forward now to the next match where you can hopefully go 2-2.
God, I will be honest. I'm not ecstatic about our win today. I don't think it was as clean as it could have been or should have been against that team. That being said, obviously very ecstatic about the win. And I think like, this is like something that's really real. Like, I think like momentum is very real. And like, we've had 2 very close, unfortunate losses, right? But now with this win, you know, I don't care who we play this upcoming week, or maybe tomorrow, up to the admins, we don't really know yet. But I feel very confident we're going to continue steamrolling people. Now that we've finally gotten a win under our belt, I think that confidence is going to be huge for the guys going forward.
So that's just kind of like this, the last little thing that's needed for this team to succeed. You just needed that momentum and then you're good.
It's a little weird because like, I think like, you know, using scrim results is really like a worthless system, right? Because if you can't like translate that into match performance, you're just a scrimmer, you know? And there's been teams like that over the course of the years that we've seen. But, you know, in scrims, generally, we've been playing quite well against franchise teams and other challenger teams. Like, I feel pretty confident in our map pool. Matches, obviously, we come out, we generally start very strong, minus like pistol win rate. But like our T sides are generally really strong, and our CT sides, like depending on the map, like are pretty good. So if we just get consistency in our CT, and a little bit more consistency, especially in our post-plant decision-making, so we can clean out these rounds a little bit cleaner. And obviously the ecos, you lost so many of those today, but that'll be VOD review time, you know? I think that'll be huge. And we can, I think once we tighten up on those rounds specifically, we could be a contender against any team in this league, for sure.
All right. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. And I want to ask too, because now we're approaching week 3, the end of week 3 here, and we're still seeing that Ambrosia still have sub on the squad and everything else. So how has that been kind of, you know, not having the full squad, even if like super subs coming on through?
God, you have no idea. I swear some deity somewhere has laid a blood curse on me because it has been following me for like the last year. Like I cannot get a set 5 to play with practice on. And before this squad, it was like some stuff that was a little shenanigan-y, a little unfortunate, but like this time, everything's looking great. We're slamming franchise teams left, right, and center. We had one slightly unfortunate Mr. Funhaver together, and then boom, all of a sudden, Acreon, viral infection, the Canadians' best, like Canada's best, can't figure out what we still don't know what it is, by the way. And he's just been hospitalized for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And obviously he's not there the entire time. It's not like life-threatening for now, hopefully. But it is a huge bummer because he can't really, like, he's forced to be bedridden basically, so he can't like come play. And I mean, what's the point of getting 2 months, 3 months of practicing with this set 5 when we can't even like play with the set 5? And then our first week, obviously, shout out Coburg, wonderful super sub. Obviously, he came out. We did our best to show out against CUBE Academy. That was like literally so last minute. We found out like a day or two before we were playing with the sub. And then afterwards, you know, I've been a huge Jack Glazer for a long time, Adder. I think he's like super talented. And I've been so happy that we've gotten to play with him as our fill. Like even today, like dude, he had some huge rounds against Haki Mori to close out for us. But obviously, ideally, we would play with our set 5 because I still believe in Acreon, right? And we put in a lot of time together, a lot of like, I think chemistry, especially for the guys, because like Satellite, Smiley, and Acreon have been playing on the Ambrosia core for quite some time together. So I think missing out on that type of stuff really sucks. Like, and completely disregarding the obviously strategic depth, you know, and the lack of strategic depth because we have to catch someone new up to speed on all of our maps.
We're definitely sending like best wishes and everything to him to even just figure out what's up in the first place.
Dude, you guys gotta give him his energy. Yeah, all the energy you could spare, he needs it, bro.
Twitch chat, send your energy as well. We need all of it over here. Last and final thing, obviously, we've gotten to see you in Challengers before. We've gotten to see the IGL. And how are you feeling about this team now, even the blood curse, everything else aside, and looking into the upcoming weeks and everything else?
God, it's wonderful. I have nothing but positive things to say on this team. I think, like, hey, you watch our VODs, especially the Cubert one on CT Side Pearl, you're going to see a lot of interesting rounds. I'm not here saying we're playing the best Valorant ever, but what I do know is that everybody every day shows up with a smile on their face and they love playing together. They all play the game outside of like practice, like where everybody's playing ranked, everybody's watching VOD, everybody's like creative and trying to innovate. Sometimes that can cost us, you know, like a little bit of creativity. Too many cooks in the kitchen can lead to losses in the in-game, right? But outside of the server, it's a wonderful environment and culture on the team, and I love it. It's like hands down my favorite for probably since Reserve. Reserve was very similar, like very good vibes every single day. And that's why I feel so confident going into the season.
I mean, that's the most important thing at the end of the day. And I can see that the vibes 100% here with you too. So keep the smile going on. Best of luck with the next match. Screwface, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thank you for having me. Have a great rest of your night as well, Sierra.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, back over to the analyst desk for us. What an infectious positive attitude. Honestly, like, I don't know. I just got a big smile on my face now. Like, that was like insight about the team, right? Even when things aren't necessarily going their well, to have those positive vibes behind the scene, like that's so important.
Guys, I love interviews. It really actualizes how different people and teams are, and like different team environments and like the different vibes, and just like it's just so funny and entertaining just to hear from the players, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, it's something too, like, he has this huge smile on his face, and it's like, how do you feel about this win? And it's like, this one wasn't that clean. As you're like these huge, and I'm like, this isn't adding up. But I mean, that is definitely something that you take this win, you can learn from it, you keep the vibes, keep going on forward. And hey, a win, especially at this stage in this tournament, Nash, is absolutely huge. Because, yeah, we still have one more day of Valorant this week, but I mean, the team that ends up going 0-4, things aren't going to be looking too great for stuff like that when we're looking at the bracket and how things are shaking up.
Yeah, going 0-4 and unfortunately getting knocked out if you do end up being in that position. But I think that was a really good shout coming out from Screwface as well. You're talking about how what he was saying was maybe not necessarily lining up with what the results were and his energy on camera and everything like that. And I think that confidence is really important. And that confidence is something that if you're not even able to bring that through momentum from your previous matches, you're going to need to be able to pull out from somewhere, no matter the results that you're getting, because it's cutting down to that do or die situation for the remainder of the matches for that Swiss stage. And that mental is one of the biggest factors that you have to look out for here for those teams that are now currently below that half line mark.
And I hope, too, that's a mental and something that Hakikimori, even looking back at that match, can take, because I think that is so important, especially since they're unfortunately at the 0-3 point to where they'll need to keep that energy and that mental high going on forward. And we have one match that is still going on right now. There is watch parties for it. That's going to be Shopify Rebellion Gold going up against Core Roy. That is the final match to be ending off this round 3 as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're already on the second map. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to decide the elimination match between Mori and the loser of that game. And then from there, we're going to start to see the shape up as well with TSM and Rankers playing their match as well to see who qualifies. So we're starting, I think this is like the sign of like, we're starting to get to towards the end of this first split. Obviously, we still have multiple weeks to go, and some teams, we're not really even sure who's going to make it out at this point. But overall, I feel like the level of competition is improving, and the level of play overall is just getting much, much tighter.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that we're going to have one more day of Valorant this week, because I'm not ready to quite say goodbye to it all yet. And since there is Valorant going on with that Shopify Rebellion Golden Core match, we got to wrap this up sooner rather than later so we can go watch that. So, you guys, thank you for crushing it, the casters and production as well. And thank you all for still being here and watching. We'll see you on the watch parties, and we'll see you back here for tomorrow for some more Valorant Challengers. Have a good night, everyone.
Cut off the site itself, though. I wonder if we can rely on push up. Yep, I should have known. He'll be back on his feet in just a moment, but Nismo with some shooting. Extra, though, again, as a third wave. Won't be able to stand up to Redux, who plows it to save the game. Redux been incredible, but unfortunately, it's very much been a solo affair, trying to shut these guys down. He'll exit with a kill. Scuba gets himself the Phantom. These deals with Kane now, 1 versus 3. Heading up towards that heaven side now. Just trying to get some flies out. Required. A little bit annoying for Extra as that Razorvine comes down, forces him off the side, but he's still ready. It ultimately ends up being a walk up by the fight. And this leaves Cube short-handed. They've got to go for a plant here at some point. Oh, I knew it was going to be a double. Inspire ends the map. After absolutely using Cube as a ragdoll for so much of Pearl. And Rankers have done it again, folks. Another 2-0 remaining undefeated. The
Ambrosia are really, they're trying to anchor these sites. And that's tough for the players, especially when there's dimensional a fair bit of running out of the scope.
Okay, FNS moment? Yes. Garpa going down, satellite Nightfall played off of. Bui just wants this position. They have really just shut the defenders in here. Bui's in a very advantageous spot. Doesn't have to go over aggressive to get a really nice position here. And it can be sort of helped out here by Hikikomori. Steel Garden comes out. Adder's going to walk up with a pistol. Oh, buddy, this could be ugly. Jump around the corner. Screwface, though, was outside of the garden, and he punishes 2 kills to spray down and go 69
Hitting A.
30 seconds left.
Positive divide for a replay too. The blind is good. That's why I don't want to make use of it for free post, but he's going to chaos it will ensue, especially with the smoke thrown up. Here's where the score mechanics get absolutely bloody aggressive. There's a Razor Vine in the way, but Hikikomori have no choice but to go for it. And so it ends, folks. Adder gets the job done. Another 13-8 map as the Hikikomori give us some genuinely competitive Valorant. I think for the first half, if not